morning, everyone. I'm headed to Lake Benbrook this morning. It's near the town of Benbrook, and it's one of my places that I go to since it's 15-20 minutes from my work, and it's a convenient location. Don't often see a lot of things there, but like yesterday I was out there and saw some wild turkeys. Saw my first actually juvenile youngins. That was exciting to see. Saw some young bucks. In fact, 4 of them together, all 4-pointers. And so it's nice to get out. I think that wildlife photography emotionally is a very relaxing, soothing hobby to get into, to get away from, the stresses of driving and traffic and all that sort of thing, and get out and just get to experience God's creation and the beauty of it and the intricacies of it, and I enjoy it, and hope for those of you who haven't gotten into it and do will find the same kind of relaxation in it that I do. I'm using right now a cradle that's holding my iPhone, and I'm using a OSMO Pocket Gimbal, and I think that this is actually going to be the twosome that I will be using from now on. The cradle seems to be working real well. This morning's my first time, and it's like a beanbag with a phone holder. This swivels from vertical to horizontal. Obviously it's in horizontal, and I see it wobbling, but the video appears to be steady. I guess I'll know for sure when I get back and pull the images up on the computer. Anyway, get back to you. So I'm meandering my way here to the entrance to Benbrook Lake Park that I'm going to. It's called North Holiday Park, and it's not a huge area, but a beautiful little spot to come and visit. And like I said, I've seen different things here over the years, coyote and bobcat once, and obviously a few warblers pass through here. We've got some painted buntings in the area right now. Usually you see great egrets, great blue herring, little blue heron. I've seen avocets, American avocets out here. Obviously cardinals, red-tailed hawks. Beautiful little spot, like I said. One of the things I like about this OSMO Pocket Gimbal is that I love it when using it in conjunction with the phone. Independently by itself, I don't like it so much. The screen doesn't show everything that it's actually recording, which I find problematic. When I use it with the phone, everything just seems to work perfect. I can see exactly what I'm getting. It's a lot easier to control. It's got a little button on the top right hand corner where I can change the view from shooting out the windshield or have it spin around and videotape me as I'm speaking. I have here in my hand a annual pass. This is Army Corps of Engineers Lake, and there's quite a few of these lakes in Texas, and they all are pretty fantastic. I enjoy coming to them, and I find this pass is worth the money. I believe it runs like $40 a year. And here I am coming up to the gate. Here I am. I'm just browsing along the lower road here, which parallels the lakeside. Just saw a great blue heron off to my left. pulled alongside an area where I was at yesterday. This area here had some nice wild turkeys. There were 3 females and 2 young juvenile fledglings. I'm driving around with 2 D500 bodies and a Z6 camera body. I've been using the Z6 quite a bit recently. I've got a 600mm f4 Nikon lens and a 200 to 500mm f5.6 Nikon lens, and they're generally the lenses I shoot with when I go out to do wildlife photography. Really have been enjoying the Z6. Watched a lot of reviews about it on YouTube and such, and saw a lot of negative criticisms about the system, enough that it delayed my... There is a beautiful painted bunting, and it is just gorgeous. I don't know if you can hear it or not. You're having a problem with the OSMO Pocket and the phone losing their connection, and I'm not quite sure why. It's already done that to me about 4 times in a row. I don't know if it's that the OSMO is connected to the phone via just the little connection that attaches to the face of the OSMO, and that needs to be supported. That maybe the vibration of the car is causing the connection to go. I'm headed down road now that takes me along another area of the shoreline. And so far today, it's been pretty dull. I haven't really seen anything exciting. Now, during the fall and winter months, tends to have more raptors. I've seen harriers flying down along this area. Seen them along the ground even. Again, I also see great egrets, great blue herons. There'll be some ducks in this area. Yeah, saying one of the benefits of a DSLR is that a DSLR, as soon as you turn the switch, it's on, active, and ready to shoot. Or for that matter, you can just drive with it in the on position, and again, you're ready to shoot immediately. The disadvantage that I have found with the mirrorless is that, first off, when you turn it on, it takes a second or 2 to initialize before you're ready to take the photograph. Secondly, it will go in standby mode to conserve the battery, and when it does that as well, there is an initial time frame there where you have to wait for it to actually come up. I'm looking at a couple of great egrets over here to my left, and there is also a great blue heron off to my left. And again, you know, here I am with the D500, and no time at all, it was ready to shoot. Oftentimes, when I'm shooting wildlife that I think might fly, I tend to shoot in 3D mode on the autofocus. I prefer that for action. This great egret, he sort of has the look where he's about ready to take off. Interesting thing, I just saw the fins of a fish in the water. And this great egret, he really looks great blue. There he goes. That was marvelous. Always beautiful to watch them take off and fly. When I'm shooting wildlife like this and the wildlife is staying stationary, I will oftentimes get an initial focus, and this is the reason I prefer back focus on, the AF on button, because you can press it down, you can get your focus, and you really don't need to leave your thumb on it. You can take it off and just shoot away with the exposure button, shutter release button, and it's great. And you can put your eye back and the subject's still in the same spot. And sometimes I will press the AF on several times, tapping it just to make sure that it's acquired the correct focus. And that's beautiful. Now, what I don't like about a DSLR, and in fact what I'm going to do right now is I am going to change and go from my DSLR to my mirrorless. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I love being able to shoot video on the fly whenever I'm out doing photography. And I don't feel that the DSLRs, and this is one of the areas I really prefer the mirrorless, is its ability to shoot gorgeous video, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to turn this thing on and check it out. And you got the live preview. And this egret looks like he is ready to go. One of the other things I really love, so now I'm going to switch to video mode that quickly. And it's marvelous. It's just marvelous how quickly you can shoot video. Again, another advantage is that in the viewfinder, I have a small little rectangular box that has my histogram in it, and I can be appraised of my exposure the entire time that I'm shooting stills or video, and I love that. I love how everything is right in my viewfinder. If I want to preview what I just shot, I can just hit the play button. I don't ever have to move my eye away from the eyepiece to see what I'm going to do, and I find that extremely beneficial. You notice I've got my eye on the subject, and I'm keeping it on the subject. Very important. This is why I'm a big proponent of using support systems, tripods, beanbags, and that is because you can have your eye on the subject. This is not weighing me down. I mean, I can let go of this camera. The camera and the lens are well balanced, and I can be ready at an instant to photograph whatever's going on. Same can be said with tripods. Well, I got some nice shots of that great egret, and time to move on. Some wild turkeys coming up here on the left. Probably the same group I saw the other day. Just have to be careful not to scare them off. There's a little railing here, so I have to get enough elevation that I can get on the top side of it. And here I am turning off my engine, cut vibration, and got my lens. Oh, beautiful, beautiful bird. I've actually got two over here. One a little, they're about 10 to 12 yards apart from each other. Shooting video, and I just love the way that works. I think if you're into shooting video like I am, having that ability to shoot still and transition to video and being able to always keep your eye in the viewfinder, I think it doesn't get any better than this. I'm so ecstatic with the way that this camera works in so many ways, even though there's a few nuances about it that, you know, the short duration and the battery life, the focus sometimes getting a little whacked out. Overall, I mean, I think it's a fantastic camera. I'm looking forward to the next few generations as they make improvements and continue to make improvements on the way the system works.